All right, we're going to start in like 1 second. All right, let's get the show on the road. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Wednesday, March 27th. I am so sorry for the background noise. I am traveling right now. I am going to be religious with this mute button. And let's get this party started. First and foremost, as always, we do have a code of conduct. Please be awesome to each other. I do have your pretty faces on my board right now for Zoom. So if somebody is talking, just go ahead and raise your hand, and we'll give you a call out. And then next, are there any new contributors on the line that want to give an introduction? I'm looking, and there are no new contributors on the line, which is awesome. Welcome, regulars. And then, as always, we'll go into our regular program updates. First up, George, why don't you give us the quick rundown on office hours and community meeting while you're there?
I do not see George. Wait, no, I do. He's just muted and off camera.
I think he had a sound issue or something.
Okay, we'll go to the next one in the interim. Meter contributors, that's next Wednesday, 7:30 a.m. Pacific and 1 p.m. Pacific. We definitely have a full lineup, so I'm super excited about that. And we're also going to have some code-based tours, which is even more exciting. So next Wednesday should be good. I'm going to start marketing that probably this week. And then, of course, you'll see the tweets and things next week. Please share that. And that's pretty much it for the contributors. And then the need to know chairs email. Does anybody have anything that we need to ask the chairs to do this week, or things that they need to know in order to run their micro communities?
Bob, your hand is up.
Think of the face-to-face requests.
Yep, I got that on the repeat clicker. Anything else? All right.
Good.
And then Jonas, did you want to kick us off for Barcelona updates?
Yes, absolutely. So Barcelona is moving along. We last week we had 89 total registered. Bob, I believe we got an update maybe yesterday. If you have a new number, please shout it out or put it in the chat. But yeah, we are ramping up here with a bunch of people joining in. One thing that we talked about was swag, because we all love swag, and George came up with a great idea around a luggage tag, and I think that would be a fabulous idea. Oh, 115 now, up from 89 on Thursday last week. So yeah, we're definitely ramping up quickly here. Having a luggage tag, we're talking to the CNCF, see if we can get that done. George also had a great idea to actually do a local installation of essentially having a local box for all the downloads that's needed for the 101 and 201 workshops, looking at Harbor as the registry for Docker images, and then also having a bunch of downloads there for like Docker DMG and stuff like that. So really awesome. The schedule is up. I'll put the link in the notes. We do have a schedule there. It is bare bones right now, and we're filling it out. But we do have 4 SIG face-to-face signups. We got Windows, Cluster Lifecycle, PM, and UI, and they are on the schedule already. So hopefully we'll get some more. And I think that's it for now.
Josh, hit us with Shanghai.
We have not yet opened registration. We're currently working on the registration form with Deb, and right now there's just a more information form, and then we will go ahead and start taking registration. Been some back and forth about figuring out exactly what should go on the registration form, since China is kind of a different audience from Europe or the US.
Awesome. Full steam ahead. Update for San Diego, there is no update. Things are still full steam ahead with Barcelona and Shanghai, and San Diego will just get caught up in the next week to 2 weeks to form our team and get things kicked off there. So not much to update on San Diego. All right, fun project board time. I'm actually going to send a link for the May milestone now instead of the project board. So we can go over all the stuff that we've got going on for May. We'll move on to share screen. All right. So one second, chat box up too. All right, first one, code-based tours. I just covered that a little bit with the Meet Our Contributors update. We're full steam ahead on that, and also everyone that has suggested something, that's also in the works as well. So I'll update the update issue to reflect that as well. I do need some help with the creating the process doc for running public standing committee meetings. Like we have one today, for instance. So I just need some help with that. I did tag a help wanted issue and note that I didn't do the first issue, just because the individual had to know a little bit about like how we run things like Zoom. We just don't necessarily have the time to do one-on-one mentorship for that. And then create a summit process doc. That's also in the works. Bob is also now helping me with this, with getting some very specific information in as to like what kind of questions we ask for, what kind of questions we ask on registration forms, etc. So that's ongoing and will help us scale our events as well. I think this is done. Yeah, Aaron, you're on one. This issue was about deduping the governance docs and then creating a SIG working group life cycle document.
Sadly, I don't have a lot of. Oh, I see. You need me to answer whether or not this is done. Okay, I will review whether or not I think this is done, and if not, I will clarify what follow-up work remains.
Awesome. And this is another issue that we need some help with, the community site. So this is Kubernetes.io/community, not necessarily contributors, meaning this would be for users as well as contributors. We're at sort of final stages of this redesign and really want to launch the thing, but there's a few things that we need to do before launch. So if folks feel like digging in and helping here, that'd be awesome. In order to hit our May milestone. But I think that this is something that we can still hit based off of my cycles alone in the future. But if anybody wants to jump in and help with something, this would be
question there, Paris. What's the, do we have like a deadline for this? Do we want to have this up by KubeCon Barcelona?
Yes, yep, that's why it's in the May milestone. Anything in the May milestone, we want up before KubeCon Barcelona.
Okay.
I mean, it's mainly just little things like images that we just need to make sure are really sharp. Like the one that's showing right now on the masthead is all Googlers. So I didn't necessarily think that was representative of our community. So I just wanted to make sure that we had kind of like good images showing of some things like that. And it looks like all of our next stuff is Contributor Summit related for the most part. I built San Diego Contributor Summit team, and I see some other Contributor Summit stuff at the bottom. So won't get into that since we already covered that area. And then the next is group mentoring. Oh my gosh, a lot of these are mine. Wow. Hey y'all, I need some help. Yeah, so group mentoring and automation and formation, I did slap a help wanted tag on that. We've got the formation of what we need to do. We just need to figure out how to self-service this. And I think I might even take this out of the May milestone, to be honest, based off of what we got on here so far. And I think I might put it on next. I really wanted to land this before Barcelona, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen. And then contributors experience survey results, still working on that. I've shared with a couple of you and on the issue the results, and we're putting together a blog post, actually several blog posts, a series of some of those survey results and what we've done from
Do you
them.
need help writing those blog posts?
Yeah, that would be awesome, Alex. Yeah, I was literally like, I'm so glad you're on this call because like your name was just about to come out of my mouth. I definitely need help with that. And I've started, and what I'll do is I'll share everything that I have with you thus far, and then we can talk offline about like how to tackle that together. If that's cool with you.
Absolutely. I contributed my first blog to CNCF this past week, so I'm all on board.
Awesome! Congratulations. Do you need a contributor patch, by the way? If so, let me know.
I mean, I put in a pull request. It hasn't been merged or anything yet, but
Yeah. Let's wait for the merge celebration.
okay. Thank you.
Awesome. So I'm going to put you down for this one, but I'm not going to hold up our call.
Definitely.
Awesome. And then umbrella issue for mentoring programs enhancements. That is an issue that would take another hour for me to go through right now. But I've always need help with mentoring programs enhancements. I've broken down the issues that we had in there to some other smaller bits. The issues need to be broken down even further into smaller bits. We probably should have like a total of like 20 issues, and we have like 10 right now. And then we also need some YouTube beta contributor updates. As far as YouTube is concerned, Jeff on the call? Jeff's on the call. Oh, yeah, there he is. Jeff, I think this week we should get a duo together and get all the YouTube admins on a call and talk about how we're going to do this from like a team perspective and what we need to do, because one of the things here is meet our contributors. So the team can definitely help out with this kind of stuff. So I think that would be cool, and sort of do like a little training and whatnot as well, like for George, not Castro, but the other George, because he's now on the team, and then Bob and some other folks. Is that cool with you?
Yep. Sorry. Muted two different places.
Awesome. And then is Pepper on the line? Yeah, there he is. I see him. Hey. There was when we were issue triaging last week, there was an issue in here that you can file a bit ago actually about the community invite meeting workflow needs to be revised. And we wanted to see if what we have currently meets what you were looking for. Tim there.
I'm sorry, I didn't fully hear you, but I'm trying to pull up that issue to look at.
Yeah. No, I just wanted to see if the work that it looks like there's been some work that's been done. George can talk to about the work, but we wanted to see if that fulfilled the issue.
I will follow up in the ticket.
Awesome. All right, and then George, did you get your did you get your mic issue? Are you still mute?
My mic works fine. I just can't hear anything you're saying.
Okay, I'm sorry.
What's the question?
This one is for ensure working groups in SIG XAML reflect actual usage.
Yeah, so the one thing left to do is I'm still getting no response. If you scroll down, the mailing or machine learning, I think, is the last one. There it is, 3396. Just waiting. I think I'm just waiting on steering for that one because the leads to that working group were unresponsive.
Okay, cool. And you said that's machine learning. I'll see if I can ping this internally too today.
Yeah, there's like 4 leads in there, and I've sent them 2 emails, and then we pinged them through the issue, and I haven't had any responses yet. So I don't know what's up with that.
All right. Is anybody on the call working on the process for requesting community surveys issue? I didn't see if it's not. If not, I'll just put it. All right. George, link to developer guide from contributor guide.
Nothing to really report though. I kind of want to talk about it at the end when we do the open session thing.
Okay, cool. All right, looks like there's still a lot of contributor summit stuff in here. Anybody want to talk about triage stuff that's going on? Because there's some issues relating to triage stuff. I know Nikita can't be on the call today. Sadeb, why don't you give us an update on the triage stuff that like we had discussed yesterday and all of the triage issues that are currently going on?
Yeah, sure. Hey everyone. So yeah, we had a meeting yesterday morning. Paris, Nikita, and myself. We decided to do it in a small group, just to kick off the brainstorming there. We have a separate issue out there to create a team for triage and PR wrangling. So, I mean, just to brief about it, we are building a team. What we decided is to have a triage captain that will be leading the triage efforts. And, it's a team of 3 to 4 people, 5 people, helping with the triage, creating any new processes if it's needed based on, what we've been doing around other projects as well, right? Other SIGs, I mean. So right now, we have triage, a lot of efforts with the release. So we talk about that. We have triage guidelines out there. So I will be spending some time to create a PR here on community repo for the, getting some of the, good things from the triage guidelines, from what other SIGs follows as far as triage is concerned, and create a sort of, just some doc to start with. We also talk about, having someone more likely like someone new, interested one in triage, and have a more experienced guy sort of leading the, as a shadow, like helping to create a new leads in the triage works area. And then PR Wrangler team, right? So that's something I'll be follow up with the doc team because they already have a PR Wrangler team, and it seems like they are really happy with it, to stay on top of the issues. So that's something we'll be following up with Brad Topol and other guys in doc, and see what we can, gain from their experience, and and what they're thinking, right? Again, we're going to create something there to start with, and then have folks reviewed it, contribute as we go forward. And I think, Pais, one last thing I want to mention is, the triage captain role, and then and the PR Wrangler sort of role, we decided to do with the milestone. So like 1 or 2 milestone, and then, we can have some sort of a rotation to give everybody a chance, and, rotate with the leadership there. So that's pretty much it. I know Nikita said she will be creating a PR for the PR Wrangler discussions there. I'm not sure if it's already out there, but if it's not, I know she will be doing it by today. I'll be creating on Triad something today later as well. So that's pretty much it. If there's any question.
Thanks for that, Sada. Yeah, so if anybody is interested in triage, I know Arnold had stepped up and a couple other people, so we'll reach out to everybody that's already offered to help and step up and things like that. But we're looking this to really be sort of like a shadow system, kind of like a release team, and that would really help us get things together with triage. Thanks so much for your help, Sada, on this.
Oh, no problem. Thank you too, Baris.
And then I just have the roles one up as well. Where are you? So there are a couple PRs in flight right now. So if anybody, actually, let me just go to the pull requests. All right. Here's one that's open for creating more roles for marketing and a contributor ambassador. Again, this person would be Meta, the contributor ambassador, meaning people who are interested in contributing to contributor experience itself. Like, what does that mean? Like posting once a month, like ask me anything, advertising for it, etc. And just generally helpful and sort of in a meta way to our SIG, not necessarily all of the SIGs, but then also eventually even like sharing this as best practices with other SIGs, so that encouraging those SIGs to also have new contributor ambassadors and things like that. So trying to lead by example, if you will. So if people are interested in this and can review this PR as well and let me know what you think about some of this stuff, that would be awesome. Does anybody have any comments now? If not, I'll just go into the next thing. Cool. All right, let me Let's just go ahead to open mic as well, because most of the rest were contributor summit related. Aaron, you're up first. Looks like proposal.
Yeah, okay, so this wasn't 100% my proposal. It's something Cole proposed at SIG testing yesterday, and he posted something in Slack about it. It's everybody's favorite game. Let's change how GitHub reviews work, and what does review mean, and what does approve mean, and it's all like crazy fun. Okay, so we'd like to try this experiment in the test info repo, where if you go through GitHub's UI and you click the approve button, like when you review, you know how it says you can comment, you can approve, or you can request changes. Today, if you do that in like Kubernetes community or Kubernetes test infra, that approve is interpreted as a /approve. And so there's a shorthand some people do where they like review the thing and then they click the approve button and they type in /LGTM. So the LGTM is in text, and GitHub interprets the big checkbox that you see in the UI as an approve, and cool, PR moves forward. We want to try simplifying this in test infra land so that a GitHub review approval event is interpreted both as an LGTM and as an approve, so that if you have sufficient rights, interacting with the GitHub UI does all the needful, and you don't need to know about all the LGTM approved stuff. The thought is this might be a easier experience, a less surprising experience, and a less frictiony experience. And we were thinking about doing this just in test infra, to see how it plays out there. The reason I'm bringing it up here is to see if y'all are cool with that. So generally, like, we're just changing it in one repo, and it's a repo owned by SIG testing, so maybe I shouldn't talk to you about it, but we feel like it might be surprising to people. And so we're trying to consider how to best make sure that expectation is made clear. I was thinking we'd just broadcast out the Kubernetes dev, telling you about it. We'd update our contributing MD to talk about how pull requests get reviewed in test info repo. And then if we're happy with it, like, maybe we consider rolling it out a little bit more. I personally am like less of a fan of this for one persnickety reason, which is I'd really love some way to track and chart historically who is reviewing things and who is approving things. And I can do that if the text LGTM and the text approve mean what they actually mean and are used consistently throughout the entire project. But unfortunately, I live in a world today where that's like not 100% true. So I feel like I have lost that battle and would rather try a simpler user experience in the test info repo and see how that works out. Does anybody here have any like crazy objections to that?
No, I don't have any objections, but I do have a question here. You say here on item number 3, LGTM cancel will still remove the LGTM label.
Yes.
What would happen if I do that? If I do an approval but remove the LGTM?
I believe the way that this would cause, if I request changes, I will end up removing both of the things I am capable of removing. So let's talk about how things work today if I forget about GitHub's UI at all and I'm just using text. Okay, so you put LGTM on a PR, but you miss something, and I notice that something is wrong. I can then come in and apply and type LGTM cancel, and I will remove the label that you applied. And that's totally cool. I can do this just as a Kubernetes org member. It doesn't matter which owner's files I'm in, and it doesn't matter which owner's file you're in, just as long as we're org members. It is different for approve. If you roll in and you approve and you have sufficient privileges in all the right owner's files and the approve label shows up, if I approve cancel and I'm not in any of the owner's files, I will not remove your approve. But if I am in some of the owner's files, I believe I remove the approve label. Does that answer your question? Something tells me we haven't like extensively game dayed those particular sort of scenarios, and we might just have to discover how that works live and on the fly. But I think that's a problem that has to do with our approval algorithm and preferring owner's files that are as deep in the tree as possible, rather than this particular UI change.
Awesome, thank you.
Okay, cool. I hear no objection, so I will proceed as advertised. Or rather, Cole will proceed as advertised. I'm just here to advocate on my SIG's behalf.
George?
Yeah, so I was wondering if we could loop back to the contributor site, because I still kind of need working URLs. So I was talking about it with Josh and Bob yesterday, and if we could just set up like the comms folder and like the contributor guide as like a first step, like, would that be a problem?
Alex, about getting a skin?
I'm sorry, I didn't understand.
Did you talk to Alex about getting a skin?
It
So
looking pretty.
making sure it looks exactly like the community site.
Correct.
Which community site? The website or?
The website.
Yeah. So what I would like to do is turn it on, but not do the URL so we can get the content right while I ask Alex for a skin. Would that be okay? Like, because the repo right now is trying to generate from the community site. And I think what we want to do, Bob, is not do that. Like Josh was just like have a standalone site and then just like migrate the contributor guide over.
You can still preview it right now. The Netlify URL is still up. It's just not the actual contributor.kates.io domain. I can talk to you afterwards about it.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. All right, so if I get a skin and all that stuff, then I can move forward?
I mean, sure. I feel like we should do this properly and like a website development process. But sure.
Okay. That's all I have.
Jeff.
Yeah, so Catherine, who is our resident SIG testing awesomeness person besides Aaron, has been doing a lot of awesome Slack development now that she's become a Slack admin. And currently, all of these automation tools like the reporting button and the Slack log and whatnot, they live in the test infra repo, and I feel like that is wrong. So this is me just surfacing that they live in test infra, and they should probably move to some sort of a contribx repo, whether that's like ksig/slack ops or whatever. That can be up for future discussion. But yeah, that's something that needs to move probably before KubeCon.
Thank you for reminding me of that. I totally meant to bring that up today. Yeah, I'd really like to propose contribx. I don't know if it's another sub-project or if I dump it under the Slack moderators sub-project or whatever, but I really think a repo, like a Slackbots repo in Kubernetes SIGs is extremely appropriate here because Slackbots don't really have anything to do with testing. And I am very supportive of that.
Can we just put it under the communications sub-project?
That's cool. So in terms of following the appropriate process here, do I need to the mailing list and get lazy consensus from everybody? Do I just need approval from one or more of the chairs or one or more of the tech leads? How would you recommend we proceed to make sure we have the right written decision and have followed the right process to decide, yes, contribx wants to own this repo?
Hold on, I'm looking at the target.
My experience as a GitHub admin is other SIGs often decide this in a meeting, and I really prefer a written decision. So a written decision in the meeting notes or something on the mailing list is sufficient, and usually we're not picky. It's kind of up to however the SIG chooses to run itself. A lot of other SIGs that we interact with, it's just like a SIG chair says, yeah, it's cool, go for it.
72 hours on the mailing list.
Okay, I will get that process started.
One thing to add, if and when this move happens, the destination repo is going to definitely get bigger because we're talking about other automation tools around Slack. So it's not just going to be what's in test infra, it's probably going to have quite a bit more eventually. Just keep that.
That's why I want that move to happen now. Really, huge thanks for suggesting that.
Yep.
Anybody have any more discussion topics? Once, twice, 20 minutes to spare. Have a lovely Wednesday.
Have a great one, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Happy Wednesday.
Hey,
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks.
Alex, bye.
Do you want to schedule another time to do the G Suite talk, or do you